Wireless earbuds that'll last longer than you will. Let's check them out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm looking at these. Well, let's actually take them out of the case. These are the Cleer Ally True Wireless In-Ear Headphones. So they're not earbuds, don't call them earbuds, they're in-ear headphones. Whatever. So they have an IPX5 water and sweat resistant rating. That's just this part. The case is not rated for any of that stuff, just so you know. And these feature a 5.8 millimeter neodymium driver, which gives you 20 to 20,000 hertz, and it supports AAC, aptX, and SBC codecs, so you get the best sound out of whatever device you're working with, and they sound really good. We'll get back to the sound. Now, it includes in the box, which I found a little hard to open, but in the box it comes with oodles of ear tips and such, right? So what you get is you get three, there's more in here. You get 3 sets of ear tips for different sizes. You get 3 sets of ear wings, which is what these are, which I'm not a huge fan of. And you get a what's known as neutral ear wing, which is actually what I have on the unit right now. I can't even figure out how to close this, so we'll just leave this open because it's very nice packaging, although this piece, kind of for the birds, another story, right? So if you look closely at this, this is actually 2 pieces of silicone. There's the lower unit, and that is actually in lieu of having one of these ear tips, which some people really like. You might really like these, so you can use them, and there's lots of different sizes. That works great. And then there's the ear tip itself, and as always, with anything you put in your ear, take the time to make sure you get exactly the right size for your ear canal. Makes a huge difference. Now, one other nice thing is it also lists left or right, which is really handy because you want to put them in the correct ear, particularly when you get to controls. But again, we'll get there in a second. Now, Bluetooth 5.0, super important because then the two of them stay in sync really well. You don't have any issues with dropout, or I certainly didn't in the many hours I auditioned them. And here's the crazy thing is that this will run for 10 hours on a charge. 10 hours. And then you get 2 more full charges with this case. That is way more than you should be listening to earbuds without a break. 10 hours, sheesh. And they also feature touch operations. So the back of each one is actually like a little touch panel. That's what they call it. I'm not sure that's not a little over optimistic in the marketing department, but in any case, there's lots of different controls. Here's a quick summary from the company of all the different things you can do. Complicated, but the most important one is when you have them out of your ear, they're paused. When you put them in the case, they are charging and they disconnect. And then when you take them out and put them in your ear, then lo and behold, it reconnects with your device and immediately starts playing. So I've already heard audio connected, and okay, it didn't actually start playing, but one tap and yeah, very nice. So having said that and having demonstrated that, and by the way, I find that it's most comfortable is to have the little metal piece straight up. So that gives you an orientation. If you're using the wingtips, then you can actually use those. And generally, the idea is you put them in and then sort of fold or roll them forward to get them to hook on that front bit of your ear. You know how your ears work. You probably don't need me to explain that. So let's see. Auto pause, play on removal, all that sort of stuff. You can take phone calls with either just the left or just the right or both of them. Very nice. The calls, of course, sound really good, but I will say that when you're talking, they do have circuitry to make sure there's no echo or anything, but you still sound pretty far away because let's face it, if I'm doing this for a phone call, that microphone's a long way away from my mouth, and either I talk really loud or I end up having the person on the other end say, you sound a little distant. But that is true of everything in this category. It's just the nature of the design. So, FYI. Also, 0 lag if you want to use these so you can watch your favorite TV show or something on YouTube, like my channel. How great is that, right? So, no lag. Everything's going to be in sync, including my sound and my words with my lips. How perfect, again, is that? So that leads us to talk about the sound. These sound really, really good. So I would highly recommend you experiment with different tips and with different wingtips and everything. Get exactly the right ones that are for your ears. Again, I didn't actually use the wingtips myself. Not a big fan of them, but you might actually have different preferences. But really good, rich bass, nice sound stage. There's a real richness to the sound here that makes it very enjoyable. Now, having said that, they were, especially if you forget to put on these little neutral bass sort of covers, then they can be pretty uncomfortable. So they work well like this, but I don't know that I would be wearing them for hours and hours on end. But then again, that's probably good for my oral and mental health to be able to actually just take them out occasionally and just take a break. But overall, really nice sound, and I'm totally unsurprised because Cleer has a great track record of doing really good audio equipment. So I would expect exactly the same from their true wireless earphones. Oh, sorry, true wireless in-ear headphones. Now, let's roll back just a tiny bit because remember I said about my channel here. So you need to subscribe. So click that button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Sweet. Now, the only thing let's talk about is the price, well, and the color. These are the red units, and they also have them available in black. So if you prefer black over red, let me put these back in the case so they're charging. And the charging case, you know, they all have the same little codes with the lights and everything. So let me just show you real quick. So there's a little tiny light on the front that shows that it's charging the earbuds. The earbuds themselves have little tiny red lights that are showing they're being charged. When you need to have it charged, there's a micro USB connection, and low, it comes with a micro USB cable, handy. And there is no way to just look at this and say, oh, looks like my case is running low on charge. So that's something they could have possibly added. But I guess here they're supposed to have the, you know, there's the idea that it's going to flash or something. But you get into these sort of interfaces where it's so darn complicated that you just don't remember all these little nuances. So I wish there was a button, maybe like 4 LEDs, and it would show up rough the charge. But nonetheless, pretty simple design. I like that when it's closed, you can still see through the top and you can see whether they're charging or whether they're done charging. So one of them is solid red, and the other one is a flashing blue, which means that one needs a little more charge because I read the manual. But anyway, let's just get right to that price. So these are the red Cleer Ally true wireless in-ear headphones, and they are $149.99 at Amazon.com. And I like them. There's so many in this space, so many companies doing these wireless earbuds, but Cleer has added a nice entry to the line. This is a good addition to their lineup, and this would be a nice addition to your audio setup. So I recommend you check these out. And with that, that means I will catch you in my next video.